Director, we expected that project to get scoped out and released for tender, or between the engineering department, the CAO, and the maintenance director. We lost our maintenance director for a period of time. We got a new guy in. He's probably not even entirely up to snuff with how our processes go. We lost an airport manager, which means our CAO is out of the mix in terms of how important that is on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, I mean, it feels like people here are saying it's just not getting done, or it's not getting done, it's for no good reason, it's not getting done, it's all for very good reasons.
But I never said it was not for good reason.
I didn't say you did. I said it feels like, if I was a person sitting here that worked for the town of the Paw right now, I'd be feeling like I'm getting pointed at and saying, well, it's just, this stuff isn't happening fast enough, guys, come on, make it happen faster.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is that there's money there, right? There's money there.
But money there doesn't mean it can happen.
Okay, well, in my world, sometimes it does, right?
Well, and you're in a private sector, which is great.
We need to be more like a private company, you know?
There are limitations, but there are limitations. There are limitations to what we can do with that. It's, you know, I don't disagree with your point, so that's frustrating to see those things not happening, but
from the public sector side, to see the resources we do have, in some ways, not human resources, but money resources, it's difficult, right? And I think the three people on the private guys sitting around the table could agree to that.
Yeah, no,
everyone's got challenges in town. And,
yeah.
We're going to go around here a lot.
It's tough to see money just sitting in the bank for stuff like this, but there's the time and the place, I guess. And we've been talking about some of these energy audits and bringing in consultants for, I feel like it's been a year and a half.
Well,
you know,
probably because it has been a year and a half. But you know, I mean, I think we're taking steps forward. You know, we're going forward and getting this person hired up. I'm sure that it's on Carrie's radar to fill up these other positions. I'm sure she's working on it. If she's not, then we'll probably find out why. I don't think people are slacking off, and I feel your frustration. I do, but steady as she goes.
or doesn't go.
Margaret, or doesn't go.
The bottom line is, there's only one person here that we rely on. Well, there's many persons, but there's only so many hours in the day, and they can only do so much. So we just have to wait just a little bit. Be patient.
Is there brand new information here? Is there going to be brand new information, Brian?
Just a final comment.
Okay.
When I spoke of a council committee, I'm talking about the brain trust that's at this table doing more of its own work, so we can clearly understand what the issue is and what its reality are, and either move forward with something or put it to rest. And I think standing committees and those committees had a purpose, and that's where councillors brainstorm over what they think is important or not important, and work it through to figure out whether they have anything to recommend or ask for of administration. But that's all I need to say.
Can I have one last comment?
Yep.
Yes, this has been on the table for a year and a half. It's been on our plate for a month. Just thought I would make that clear.
I agree 100%. Okay. 4.10, travel policy.
This is with respect to travel policy 906. There's been some question brought forward about personal vehicles. When we're taking town vehicles out of town, are we going to be reimbursing people for taking their personal vehicle? Are we going to give them gas, or are we expecting them to travel with the travel van? That's basically the question I'm asking you guys.
so that,
Basically, right now, if we go to a conference or whatever and one of us is taking the travel van, we travel together. In the past, when the travel van isn't available, or like you get paid reimbursed for gas or mileage. So it's come up that there may be a few people traveling outside of the travel van, and are we paying gas or are we paying anything? Because we already have one vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, the travel van is going to the same thing.
See, and I thought the policy is that if the travel van was going and you choose not to go in the travel van, you have to pay for your own gas. Like, I thought that was the policy.
that's not the policy?
Basically, right now, you would get it reimbursed for it, is the way it was working. That's why it came up.
Oh, see, no, and I thought the policy was
Yeah,
if
you
you're
probably
not
have
going
no
to the...
expectation for it, I'm
No,
sure.
no,
It's
no, I just was like, I mean...
So that was why the question came up, is moving forward, because this is staff too, right?
So do we want to rewrite the policy so that it reads
That's
that
kind of
if
the question, or
travel-
is the expectation that if the travel van is already going, are we paying for just the travel van, and if you want to go on your own, you pay your own fuel?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
the question.
I think
See,
so.
okay, so this obviously has come up because of things that are happening over the next couple of weeks. So, just so the world knows, I'm going to Winnipeg tomorrow. World Trade Organization is holding a 3-day meeting called Centralia. It's going to be very interesting. I am not taking the town van because I have a lot of things to do in the city that doesn't have to do with the town. I don't think it's a good idea for me to be running around Winnipeg on the town's dime. So I don't expect to get paid for fuel. I don't expect to get paid for mileage. I expect to drive my own
But you
vehicle.
would,
Yeah, you would,
because
because
the
it's
travel
different.
van's not going. If the travel van
What
was
they're
already
talking about is
going-
because we're going to AMM, right? In a couple of weeks.
Well,
And
this week
the
and
travel-
next week,
Right, the
yeah.
travel van is booked, but not all of us want to go in the travel van. For me personally, Florence is coming with me, so I'm gonna take my own vehicle and travel with her in my vehicle. And I was totally prepared to pay for my own gas and everything because I knew the
But
travel van
that's
was
not what
already
the plan
going.
says, that's all we want is
Right,
clarification.
and so maybe we need to, change the policy. 'cause
I don't
like
know if that's
said-
what you guys want moving forward, if you're okay, I personally, we just need to know.
Well, I don't need to, I think we need to change it because I don't want, a guy on the radio to say, hey, guess what we just found out? They're cruising around
If
the
the travel
province
van- if the
on the
travel
town's dime.
van's- if the
How's your
travel
taxes
van's
today?
not
I don't
going,
think so.
then of course you would get
I'll
gas.
just,
Yeah.
But if the travel van's already going, for example, for FCM, Margaret's taking the travel van, Jim, you're going to FCM, Crystal, you're going to FCM, Brian, you're going to FCM. All
got
three of you
medicals,
want to
yeah,
take your own vehicle.
For gas bills.
So that would be 4 gas bills,
Yeah.
according to the wording
Yeah.
of the policy right now.
well, I'm hopefully going to be able to travel next week, with Margaret. It's just that I have things that are going on.
Oh,
this
no,
week.
no one's questioning that,
No.
like, that's irrelevant.
It's
just a
never
matter
come
of-
up before where the travel van's actually gone, and then 3 other people have taken their own vehicles. So when it came
That's why
down
we
to,
came,
it was
when the
like-
question was asked, I was like, I don't know.
$6,000 meeting just.
I
to
will
get there.
leave the travel
Right.
van and you can come with me. Just kidding.
We just need clarification.
Yep, that's all I care, is just
Yeah, no, I'm-
clarification.
Because the policy didn't,
I'm okay with changing the policy. That's crazy.
I think it should be,
Like I said,
because
I
that's
thought
why
that
we
was
have
the
the travel
policy
van.
already, so-
That's why the town purchased the travel
We
van
should
to
change the
use it.
policy then, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, that was just the question, because, yeah.
Everybody okay with that? Good.
I'm okay.
As long as we remember, the other side of it is if the travel van is not available.
That's right.
Are you just going to pay
No.
gas or do you
Mileage.
pay mileage? Okay.
Mileage.
Because that would be the balancing point.
if the travel van's
Oh,
not
if it's
available,
not available, yeah. If it's available, then you take your own vehicle.
You don't
it's
get
gas.
anything.
You're on your own, too sweet.
Now we're changing it.
No, 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 no.
If it's not going to that seminar.
because you get gas.
If you and me are going to the same seminar in
Yeah.
Winnipeg, fine, we take the travel van. If I'm taking the travel van and we're going to the same seminar and you want to go on your own, you don't get nothing because the travel
No,
van
no, for
came
sure.
with me.
But like for Jim, going down to this WTO, World Trade Organization
He'll
conference.
get gas,
Yeah.
because he's choosing not to
He'll
take the
get no-
travel.
okay.
Gas, not mileage.
Because
Just
he's
gas.
choosing
Oh,
not
okay.
to take the travel van.
So, but if the travel,
If the travel van is booked and you
Yeah.
can't take it, then you get mileage. If it's not booked but you want to take your own vehicle anyways, you only get gas.
let's clear this up with a policy.
Wow.
There are those municipalities that pay for time too.
Holy,
You do get paid your time.
no, I know.
Do they have the highest taxes and the highest
are,
taxes and the highest water rates?
You are a disturber, sir.
It was scary.
Just so you
I
know
don't know, I
that, you get
think we get paid
$150 a day when you travel.
4.11 KRC Day Camp.
We've got some really bad news today. We did not get our funding to run the summer kids camp program.
Oh,
It's possible, and it just happened, we found out today. So we're looking at a shortfall of $16,720. Jody has been in discussion with Amber about maybe looking at increasing the camp program a little bit to try and offset some of the costs.
You're moving further away from barrier-free.
I know.
This is not the
Well,
right
it
direction
said
to go.
barrier-free.
Can we
or
take it out of
nothing.
BIPOL money? Apparently we've got some in there.
The rates,
It's not
no, we,
necessarily the enhancement of it.
Community, can we take it out of community enhancement? I mean, not having kids running around the streets, doing all that kind of stuff enhances the community, right?
So I guess if worst comes to worst, we want to try and find the money internally, but it's almost like an awful, because this is something that we believe is very important to the community. We do not want to see it fall behind. So if things really go bad, we may be in a deficit with council's approval on that program.
Why did they not get it?
Yeah.
Because there was way too many applications that came in for this year. We got our green team, but not for our kids camp, which
Yeah.
to me is such a successful, needed program. I would hate to see something like this not go through.
for any of the above.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
I think so.
So just so that you got a heads up, that if we're over budget, this was something that we didn't budget for, we budgeted our share of it, which is $4,600, but we didn't budget the $16,720, which is their share. So, heads up on that.
Is there
And I
a-
think we need to write a letter saying how detrimental this was on our
Yeah.
community, had this not been able to move forward.
This is crazy.
We definitely need.
Who did we apply this to?
It's the federal, it's
This is
Canada.
federal
It's Canada.
money.
Okay.
This has happened before.
Is there a registration fee for kids participating in the camps, or is it free?
Oh, yes, yeah, there is.
So,
And it's
It's
not
a
cheap.
lot.
It's expensive.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Way cheaper than
It's,
daycare.
oh, it's
Oh,
very,
yeah,
very
it is.
cheap.
Wow.
It's cheap.
How much is it?
$90 a month,
90 bucks
or
a
90
week.
bucks a week.
That's,
That's cheap.
that's
Yeah,
very
well,
cheap.
but UCN also runs one that's 20 bucks a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah, they do.
comparatively,
Because
it's,
that's what I mean, is sometimes we can't compare.
Can they
no,
can they just take Florence like all year at $90 a week?
Right? No, it's just
You-
summer.
Yeah, yeah, see, that's
Summer
not
day
happening.
camp.
That's not.
Yeah, it's,
Okay,
That was just me looking.
hey,
My daycare's
6.1, proposal for request for closure of Grace Lake here.
So Jim and myself had a conversation last week with the with the minister, pardon me, of transportation, and we explained what had been going on with the Grace Lake Airport and how this is affecting the town. And it was discussed that maybe we should bring forward a resolution of council requesting their consideration for the closure of Grace Lake Airport. We're also going to be looking at getting the support from the RMCLC and OCN, and I've got kind of a brief that I would like to be sending with them to kind of explain what's happened and where we're at. So this is just basically a request to move forward at the next meeting with the resolution that requests the closure.
Awesome.
Okay, yes?
Mississippi Airlines owns the majority of space out there, henceforth, like Matthias Cologne, right?
Yeah.
They need to be part of this.
Yes,
Big time.
absolutely they do.
Big
They need to.
time.
Absolutely they do.
They're missing from this piece, and they're the ones that are gonna hold all the keys.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ken.
They're gonna hold the keys to making this happen,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
But they're not, their name's not listed here, and as far as I know, I don't know if they've been engaged or not. So someone should pick up the phone.
We've started to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
if
Because
they
we
would give
need
us
to
support.
provide them a spot to be, this was a
Right.
conversation,
Yeah.
that would be part of the deal, and obviously the province is gonna wanna look at us with a plan, and that's what we've gotta present. How are we gonna deal with the existing people that are at that airport right now, and how can we work them into ours?
But what I'm saying, they need to be brought in the
Yeah,
fold now.
I'm wondering
They
if
do.
they would give,
No,
their-
no, 'cause I
like if
saw
we
them
had like a
today.
preliminary,
You've gotta get them on
preliminary
board.
meeting with them, if they would
Yes,
give
we
their
do.
support
Okay,
for
yeah,
this
all right.
resolution and say like, we
We
would,
can't do it without them.
we would
Yeah.
want to
We
move
can't.
out to the Clearwater Airport and would be in support of this.
Most definitely.
Because I think Alan's right, like they are gonna hold a lot of weight on
Yep.
this decision.
Brian?
Have we done any kind of actual study to see what other services and things that run out of there or whatever that would be impacted by it, and how, if that becomes not available to them, how we will accommodate them and so on and so forth? Because there's more than just Mississippi area out there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the PAW Flying Club, there is, there's the Kelsey Conservation is out there.
Those guys are just property owners, they're not using the airport, like they're leasees, and the province has their, Manitoba Conservation has their yards out there too. It's more of the runway that we're concerned about. That is our main problem, is the actual airway. And I think we've all sat around this table and discussed it more than once and said, I'm sure we can find a suitable spot for them to relocate out to our airport out at Clearwater. And that's exactly what the province is gonna wanna hear from us.
Yeah.
But are you going to get rid of it totally? Because where are we going to accommodate float planes?
Grace Lake still.
Grace Lake?
Well, you don't need a runway if you got a float plane. You can land on a lake.
Float planes don't require
I know, but that,
outside air.
but Clearwater Lake is convenient to float planes and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not a part of the MIT airport though, right? Like, float planes wouldn't operate under the same
Regulations.
regulations or, I mean, North, whatever they are, North Air or whatever, I mean, they operate a float plane base. That float plane base would exist there still if the runway closed. In my understanding, I suppose I could be wrong, but, I can't see why
Well, they
that
wouldn't,
wouldn't be the
because
case.
they land in the bushes all over the place.
we just,
Would they have to, right?
we need to have some more conversations in order to move this forward, but this needs to move forward.
You can't do without a resolution, is basically
Yep.
where we're
Yeah,
at.
for sure,
Yeah.
let's bring that forward.
Okay? Let's move into.
Be it resolved that we, or, move that we, or, oh my gosh, I can't remember what to say today, my brain
Take
is
it,
so
Andrew,
fried.
take it.
Wait, no, I got it. Be it
Scoop me
resolved
in
that we
camera
now
too.
do arise and move to the in-camera portion of the committee of the whole meeting with Mayor Scott in the chair to discuss matters requiring our attendance. Sorry, I've had like no sleep all weekend.